Okay, so welcome everyone. This morning when we're practicing, I'm going to give some attention to yoga where we adapt it to a chair, because we have some students in the community who they need that adaptation, and I want to make sure there's a few videos for them to consistently come back to so that their yoga practice can continue. I also think it's going to benefit you. I'm not just doing it for these other people who you don't know. Yesterday we used chairs to look at the crescent lunge, a hip opening pose, and a parvrita, a revolved crescent lunge pose. And I think sometimes it helps us to go a little bit deeper in a pose. And I don't mean physically deeper. Sometimes deeper is our awareness is deeper or our understanding is deeper. So let's start with a comfortable seat, please. And you can rest your hands in your lap. You're welcome to close your eyes. And let your breath and your body start to arrive here in the present moment. Which also means letting go of whatever is not in the present moment. So reviewing the past, planning the future, ruminating, perseverating. We let those things fade and bring yourself into the here and now. And of course, that feels easier to say, perhaps, and not as easy to do. Sometimes the present moment seems to be elusive because the thought factory of the mind is disrupting our connection, a little bit like having poor Wi-Fi. You feel intermittently the present moment, the present moment, the present moment, and then intermittently your thoughts, your thought factory. So let's use the breath to come into the present moment. So you can sense the temperature of the air as it comes into the nose. You might sense the sensation of the air against the back of the throat. You don't need to make the breath bigger. You can sense subtle sensations. You might sense how the abdominal region naturally expands during the inhale and then naturally tones during the exhale. And try to give your attention consistently and without interruption for 3 breath cycles. No special breath cycle. You don't have to give it a Sanskrit name, just that you have a kind of slow, steady breath that's getting your complete attention for 3 breath cycles. And then during class today, for any time that your mind comes back to the present moment, I'm going to ask you to notice that, to reinforce that. And don't worry too much when your mind is leaving the present moment. You can expect that that will happen because mental habit's very strong. But returning can become a mental habit. It can become a way that you are now being more and more often in the present. So please join your hands at your heart. And we'll chant together Sahana, Vavatu, Sahana, Bunaktu. So you may join me. Om Sahana Vavatu, Sahana Bhunaktu, Saviryam Karavavahi, Tejasvinavaditamastu, Ma Vidvishavahi. Om Sahana Vavatu, Sahana Bhunaktu, Saviryam Karavavahi, Tejasvinavaditamastu, Ma Vidvishavahi. Om Sahana Vavatu, Sahana Bhunaktu, Saviryam Karavavahi, Tejasvinavaditamastu, Ma Vidvishavahi. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om. Shri Guru Pyo Namaha. Hari Om. So you may bow your head to your heart. Release your hands. Please open your eyes. And as you sit upright, we're going to do a little bit of pranayama to get to know what is your capacity now, and then intermittently, what does your capacity become? So while you're sitting up, I'd like you to take your hands out over your knees so that your torso has this kind of open space in here. So the hands go out like that. And I want you to sense, you could have an extra pair of hands, you don't, that's not how you're built, but you could sense a pair of hands at the back of the kidneys, at the back of the rib cage, the back of the diaphragm. And so now coming to the Ujjayi breath, use the back hollow space of the throat, the openness of the throat, to listen to the whispering of the Ujjayi, and focus the breath in the first third of your torso, and then to the back of the kidneys. You can divide the breath equally in half between those two places. The lowest part, pelvis and abdomen, and then your mid-back and your kidneys. Notice when you get to the most expansive place that you have right now for the back ribs and the kidneys, there's a little inhale pause, an inhale suspension. And then when you exhale, you want to gently tone the low belly, and see if you can resist hardening at the back of the ribs or the kidneys. And do that twice more. So you're just checking the quality you can have of expansion from the pelvis up into the back and sideways and the kidneys. And then the quality of tone in the low belly that doesn't cause you to harden the rib cage on the back side. Okay, and so sensing that, now I'd like you to come up to standing, and we're going to do a little bit of warming up in a standing position. Then we'll take the chairs and see how we can adapt the practice and also cultivate your experience with the breath. Okay, and we can go to my other camera, Susie. Okay, so when you first come up to stand, I'd like you to take a wide stance, like the length of one leg. and keep your hips and pelvis centered. We are going to be doing some side bending, but I don't want you to shift your hips left to right to do that. So let's place the hands at the top of the thigh bones. So here's the top of my pelvis, and this is the top of the thigh bone. So place your hands there, and keeping your pelvis steady, make a side bend to your right. Good, then sweep the left arm up. And try really keeping the pelvis centered. So what you might have to do is concentrate on not letting this hip sashay to the right. I'm going to call this now, this is my, I'm sorry, I got your lesson rights confused. Don't let your hip sashay to the left. Now, if you have your right arm past your right ear and you've got this gentle marker here for your upper thigh to be stable, notice what happens if you release your right arm so it's heavy. That's just added a little bit of weight to your side bend. And what happens when you raise your right arm up alongside your left arm? And then when you exhale, use your left low belly, left outer heel to pull up. Sweep the arms wide, and let's check again. Right here you have the top of the thighs. Side bend to your left. That's right, good. Without the hip sashaying off to the right, you side bend to your left. Raise your right arm up alongside your ear. Notice what's required here and how you're able to bring the breath from the first third of the pelvis and the abdomen up into the back waist, up into the kidneys. And if you let the right arm dangle, what changes there? Left arm, excuse me. It's funny. I have to laugh at myself after 30 years of mirroring students. You raise your left arm up. Notice the dynamics have changed. What happens with your breath? And use the right low belly to exhale up. Sweep the arms wide. Turn your heels in and your toes out. I love this warm-up pose. A lot of us are sitting more than we're accustomed to, and I really like how this gives us access to the pelvis. So press out with your hands against your knees. Bring your gaze down. And then as you press your left hand into your left knee, turn your gaze to the right, then turn your shoulders to your right slowly. And notice when the kidneys start to also twist to the right. So like the left kidney will start moving towards the floor and the right kidney rotates. So you can say a little bit towards the ceiling. Notice when that twist came from your eyes to your neck, to your shoulders, to your heart, to your kidneys, and breathe into the back of the waist. And then exhale, rotate to center. Now go the other way. First, make your right arm more firm, right hand against your right knee. Turn your head first, then turn your shoulders, then your heart, then sense the kidneys turning. And bring the breath into the back of your waist, the back of the kidneys. And imagine the breath is three-dimensional in the interior of the ribs, the floating ribs there. And then it does want to expand even on the back side. And rotate back to center. Press down into both heels. Please rise up to standing. And let's go heel toe to center. Place your feet so they're in mountain pose. Raise your left arm up alongside your left ear. Now again, keeping the pelvis stable, reach up to hold your left wrist with your right hand and make a side bend to your right. If you sense that your hips are leaning like I'm doing there, please come back to center with the pelvis and let the side bend belong to your upper torso, mid torso, and just some of the lower back, lumbar spine. Now, keeping your left arm, right arm where it is, excuse me, let the left arm start to drape down. Let that get heavier. And invite the left arm to release from the shoulder, so its heaviness is encouraging the upper torso to be rotating down towards the floor. You want the side bend to come up into the upper thoracic spine too. If you want to deepen that, you can reach your right arm across. There you go, beautiful. Notice how that changes the dynamic at the left kidney, left side waist, left lower back. And then let's inhale, sweep your right arm up to meet your left. Nice job with that. Please hold your right wrist with your left hand. Keep your pelvis stable and come over to your left without sashaying your hips to the side. Right? So keeping that steady. Press into your right heel and let the left arm drape down. So the heaviness of your left arm can add to the C curve that you're making in your thoracic spine right now. Notice the breath coming into the back, waist, and kidneys. If you want to add to the experience, you take the left arm across. You just change the oblique muscles, the obliques here in the abdomen. Notice the dynamic shift, and as you next inhale, sweep your left arm down and slowly bring it up. Good, and then exhale, release both arms. Let that come down, and pause to just take it like inventory. What is happening right now? Great, and then please bring your chair onto your yoga mat. So we're going to use the chair to make this practice both more accessible to some members of our community and also to change the dynamic you have where the kidneys and the back waist are concerned. So first thing is we'll be doing downward dog pose with the chair. I would like you to have a couple of blocks close by because we're going to be using them on the chair seat for some standing poses. So I'll get mine ready there. And I'd like you to place both hands so that your index fingers are on the chair seat. The other three fingers wrap around the chair seat. And when you stretch back like this, make your feet parallel. You can actually see your feet pretty well. So make them parallel. Make a tiny bend to your knees so you know you can take your hips back, not just your kneecaps back. And then try letting the breath come into the back parachute, right where the kidneys are. So it starts in the pelvis, yes, but then goes up to your mid-back and your kidneys. And then I'm going to ask you to look forward, come slightly forward, and step your right foot up between the legs of the chair. Now I'm going to call this my right foot because I'm going to mirror you now. Notice that my back heel stays down. So press your left heel into the floor. That is your calf muscle stretching back there. And in this position, I'd like you to stabilize your right hand on the center of the chair and reach your left hand to the upper back of the chair. Now, if you're someone who's able to take your hand up over the upper back of the chair pretty well, and the chair is stable, you can pull back with your left hip to stretch your left side waist. Breathe deeply in through the nose, down into your pelvis, into your back waist, side ribs. And while keeping both arms and legs stable and strong, if you would like to, you can move your left hand to the outside edge of the chair on the right side. You've made a little C shape right there. Notice it's amazing, when you move your hand across, even your calf muscle will feel the difference, the left calf muscle. So you can have a hunch that your body, in fact, is one beautiful, all tied together myofascial sheath, one big fabric. And then press into your right hand, release your left hand back to the chair seat. Place both hands firmly and step backwards with your right foot. The two hemispheres of your body might feel pretty different from each other, left to right. So please bring your left foot forward between the toes of the chair. Press into your right calf, so you are lengthening the back of your right calf. Reach your right heel. Take the left hand, more or less, it can be centered on the chair or in line with your left foot. Take your right hand up over the upper back of the chair. We just change the position in this very slight way, and it adds a sort of cross-crawl moment to your practice. It adds some asymmetry. We're all asymmetrical. So breathe into your experience and really notice how you give attention through the entire breath cycle. And keeping your right heel grounded, you have to root your tailbone to support with that, and then walk your right hand, if you like, across the chair. Maybe it's lined up with your left hand. Maybe it goes to the outside edge of the chair. Listen to the many sensations occurring. Some of them are for stabilizing. Some are opening sensations. Some are the sensations of integration. And press into your left hand. Return your right hand to the chair seat. Left hand to your chair seat on the outside edge there. And step backwards to what would be your downward dog pose with the chair. And then press into all 10 toes, root your heels, and roll your spine forward. At a certain moment here, you're going to pick up the heels to come into plank pose. So press into your toes, tone your low belly. Here's plank pose. Notice now how you can breathe into the kidneys on the back side. And then gently keep one foot stable, step the other foot forward, and then step the second foot forward. Rise up to standing, please. And stand mountain pose, just right where you are. I'll turn to face you, but you can be where you are. And notice what's happening in the inner body. And how present can you become to what is occurring inside. Now we will place blocks on the chair seat because I'd like you to have this be relatively high when we start, and then we're going to have it be, there's a changeable element in the pose. Now keeping in mind that I'm not that tall, and I just made this situation here. For some of you that's going to be lower, but you could choose to raise this up, or you could raise it like this. Depends on the height of your chair and also on your height. Then I'd like you to take a wide stance, turn your right foot towards the chair, step your left foot out. Kind of like your triangle pose stance. And just give a little test drive here that when you put your hand on the block, it's going to feel comfortably supported. Okay, test drive this also. If you bend your right knee, you don't bump into your chair. See how I have a little space right there? I didn't knock into my chair. Okay, good. And inhale, float your arms wide. Breathe into the back of the waist. And bend your right knee. It's called Warrior 2. And then bring your right hand to your blocks. That's the beginning of a pose we call konasana. Turn the left hand skyward. And I'm going to ask you to keep the body really strong and sweep your left arm and start making a C shape. So don't give up on the right elbow or the left leg. So the C shape is in the upper back, thoracic spine. Inhale, open this pose like you're a windshield wiper. The left arm goes over. Exhale. And then inhale again like a windshield wiper. Come over, keep your right arm strong, please, so that the C shape is really in your upper thoracic spine. Inhale, open it back. Good. Inhale, come over. You are exhaling too, don't worry. So you inhale, let's exhale here. Inhale to open. Exhale, the arm can float down. Do it one more time. So inhale. Yes, lengthen your right inner thigh. Good. And as you come across like a windshield wiper, then exhale into this C shape right here. And then rise up, warrior two. And bring your hands together, straighten your right leg. Let's rest the hands on the hips for a moment. Let's stay with the right leg for a few times because it's easier for our mechanics with each other. So that might have moved some energy in the upper chest, upper thoracic spine. Now we're going to add to the side bend that the mid-spine, the mid-thoracic spine also gets to participate in side bending. So please sweep the arms wide. Bend your right knee, keep it steady. If you're not sure if your knee is steady, make a gentle touch to the chair so you know that it's not backing away. That's some feedback for you there. And now place your hand. Okay, this time, inhale, raise your arm and bend your right arm. Good. And then inhale to open this pose. Keep the right knee steady. Exhale, lower your left arm, open the chest. Good. Inhale, left arm up. Bend your right elbow. Exhale, the side bend includes the mid-rib cage. Yes. Inhale, like a windshield wiper. Keep the right thigh steady, please. Exhale, lower the left arm, open the chest. Inhale. Exhale, bend. So it's okay if your right elbow touches your right thigh. Maybe the left hand reaches the chair. And one more time. Inhale like a windshield wiper. You're clearing the mind, the windshield of the mind. Now inhale, left arm up and over. Exhale. And then inhale, rise up, warrior two. Can you keep the right thigh steady? Just a few moments more. So you might be lightly touching the chair right there. And then up to center. And turn your right foot in. Watch out for the toes of the chair. Let's do the other side, okay? You can turn yourself about. I'm going to move my setup so that you can still see me, but also I get to see you because I'm looking at a large monitor with lots of you in tiny boxes. Okay, got it. So the distance between your 2 feet is up to you. It's about the length of one leg. If you check, you could lightly touch your chair, but not knock into it. And also that your heels are lined up this way. Inhale the arms wide. So on the first go, we're going to bend your left knee. We're going to keep the left arm straight. Okay? Inhale, right arm past your ear. Exhale, side bend. It's the upper thoracic spine. Good. Inhale like a windshield wiper. Exhale, lower your arm down. Keep the left inner thigh stable. Inhale. Beautiful. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. You're doing a great job. Inhale. Okay, exhale. There's that side bend in the upper thoracic spine. Keep the left arm strong, right arm strong, right leg strong, left inner thigh long. And inhale, warrior two. Good. Come up to straight. Let the left leg have a moment of being straight, not bent. And then we're going to come back into the pose. So inhale. Bend your left knee. You might get some biofeedback right here as you gently touch the chair so you know your knee isn't coming and going. Place your left hand, excuse me. Okay, inhale. Bend the left elbow this time. Exhale, let the mid rib cage also side bend. Very good. Inhale, up and over like a rainbow or a windshield wiper. Exhale, open the chest, right shoulder back. Inhale. Bend your left elbow, keep the right arm straight. Exhale, there's your side bend. Maybe you touch the chair, maybe you don't. Inhale. Exhale, right arm down, chest open. Keep your left knee stable. Inhale. Exhale, there's your side bend. Inhale. This is the last time through. Exhale, open the chest, even the right upper chest. Good. Inhale. And exhale, there's the side bend. And let's inhale up to Warrior Two. And release both arms, turn your left foot forward. Heel toe, step in or step into mountain pose. And let's take notice what's happening. We're going to sit in the chair so we can check back in with the first pranayama that we had. So when you turn to sit in your chair, I'm going to put mine face forward so I can see you easily. Please sit on the front edge of your chair. And place your feet so they're hip distance apart. Rest your palms face down in your lap. You can close your eyes. Remind yourself that you're here to practice yoga, not self-evaluation. Yes, self-study, svadhyaya, but not a self-critique. Place the tip of your tongue behind the top two teeth, and when you come into the hollow spot at the back of your throat, begin your ujjayi breath. And try to sense how you have the first half of the breath in the pelvis and low belly, second half of the breath widening into the back of the waist and kidneys. Because we sometimes call this kidney breathing. You might remind yourself that your kidneys are holding your original qi. According to Chinese medicine, that's where you're housing the original essence of qi in your body, also called prana in yoga. One more time, expand the back of the kidneys with the inhale. Take your time with the exhale. And then please open your eyes. Okay. So now we're going to start bringing the breath into the upper third as well. So we have low third, middle third, upper third. Let's get this part a little bit more open and prepared. Reach back and hold the legs of the chair. Okay, and I'm going to ask you to bend the elbows. I know I'm not on a profile, so let me turn. I'll go diagonal. So when you set up, then, oh, that's pretty good, this diagonal idea. Then you're going to bend the elbows. Yep, just like that. Lift up through the heart. But please bring your chin down towards your throat, which is to say, it's not that you're coming down towards your sternum with your chin, you're actually coming in towards the throat. Raise your heart up from within. Squeeze your shoulders back. You might feel the effort at the back of each shoulder joint and a kind of stretch or opening at the front of each shoulder joint. One more time. Inhale, lift your heart from the inside, supported by the breath. Squeeze the shoulders back. And then exhale, let both arms dangle. And actually let them dangle so they go free from your chair, from your thighs, from your hips, and you can feel the arms getting warmer. Okay, good. Now reach your right hand across to your left knee. And as you begin to twist to your right, you can hold the side of the chair with your right hand. You could walk your right hand to the seat of the chair. Depending on your twist, and everybody has a different capacity for twisting, please keep the pelvis stable, knees stable. Some of you will be inclined to hold the leg of the chair that's behind you with your hand. You can see me doing that here. So this is a pose that we can sustain because we're stable with the chair and you have enough experience. Your practices are stable. So both feet stable, both shins, both knees, both thighs, the hips. Let the spine go up and rotate and really try to sense the inhale can still expand across the back of the kidneys and come up into the heart. Including the back of the heart, right? Now, as you next exhale, rotate around to face forward. Place your hands on your knees and just feel like the body's like a zigzag right now. I said in the first class today, it's like a barber pole and it's going in one direction. The red and white stripes, the red stripe might feel faster than the white stripe right now. Let's do the other side. So cross your left hand to your right knee. And you can hold the leg of the chair here to support your twist to your left. You could place your hand on the seat of the chair. If your twist is kind of bendy, you have the capacity for it, you can reach the left hand to hold the leg of the chair across the back. Roll your left shoulder back, whatever choice you make. Try to open the left shoulder like we just did in that standing pose when the arm was coming down. Lift your chest, and we want the breath to broaden across the back. So take your time. We don't want you twisting so deeply that you feel like you have to breathe quickly. You should not be gulping the air. And then breathing in one more time, roll the left shoulder back. And when you exhale, release your left hand from where it's been. Bring both hands back to your lap and notice, hopefully the barber pole, the red and white stripes are moving together. Okay, good. Now we're going to use the twist in the chair a little bit differently. So to show you this, it's helpful if I turn my chair once more so you can see me. So here, when we go towards a twist, we're going to add a side bend to the twisting. So if I take my, let me say this is my right arm for now. Let's see if I can do that. Right and left, right and left. Yeah. If I take my right arm across like this to the outside of my left thigh, and I'm trying to stabilize that, I'm going to stabilize it with my left hand. And then the side bend is the torso, the upper part of the torso. So that side bend, when you come down, some of you are going to find that it's easier and easier to keep this hand over because the side bend brings your shoulder closer to the opposite thigh. And then we're going to reach back and add a little twist by holding the upper back of the chair. like this. Okay, so let's start with your right arm. I'm going to call this your right arm. It's actually my left, but now it's my right for the moment. Bring it across. Use the back of your hand. Yeah. You can secure it with your left hand. Please side bend to your right. No need to fall off your chair. I trust you guys. You look awesome. It's fun to see all these shapes in the squares. There you go. And if this feels secure right here with your right hand on your left thigh, reach back and add a twist to your left. The left upper chest can roll open. Now some of you are going to really enjoy looking down so that your nose is going past your right shoulder. You might feel the left side of the neck stretching. So please keep the left shoulder rolling back. The chest should feel open, like a little bit of a back bend. We want your side bend to feel stable. Inhale. And then as you exhale, unwind in whatever manner feels like yours. And let the arms dangle, and notice that you probably feel very asymmetrical. It's amazing how much warmth can come down the right arm. That was the arm that we would say in yoga, it was bound, meaning there was some compression in the shoulder that temporarily closed the blood supply, not completely, of course, and then it comes back. So you have this cleansing lymph response. Take the outside of your left hand across. Yep, secure it with your right hand. Side bend to your left. Beautiful. I'm watching you guys go sideways in your chairs. I don't know if you're looking only at me or you're seeing the whole group, but for me it's fun to see. There they go, like plants in the garden. And then reach back with your right hand to hold the upper back of the chair and add your twist to your right. And if you like, you can gaze down past your left shoulder. And in that gazing, roll your right shoulder open. Keep the chest open, relatively open, and stay dedicated to your side bend. And breathing in and breathing out. Just keep it really simple, really nourishing. And then root down into your hips as you exhale. Roll yourself up to sitting. Let the arms dangle. Free from your hips, free from your chair, and you can close your eyes. And notice how your body, it knows how to bring that back into homeostasis. It wants to harmonize. Left to right, inner to outer, front to back. Now rest your left hand in your lap for Nadi Shodhana, alternate nostril breathing. Bring your right hand, first two fingers in. Come up to touch the bridge of the nose lightly. So this is also to bring left and right together, to integrate left brain, right brain. So what you're going to do is close the right nostril completely. The left nostril can be open either completely or part way. Let's inhale left side only. And you pause, close the left nostril completely, open the right either completely or part way, and exhale right side. And inhale right side. Pause and exhale left side. Inhale left. Exhale right. Inhale right. And last time, exhale left. Release your right hand to your lap. No need to have any particular kind of breathing, just to rest in the present moment mind. Let's bring this quality of mind down to Shavasana. I'd like to show you something specific this morning for Shavasana. We also used it in the first class, and if you guys are successful with it, we can use it in our restorative classes too. So this I'm going to put away. You will need a blanket. Let me get one that's a different color than my mat. And I'd like you to take the blanket and unfold it so it's like this. Okay. And then take it on your mat and take the long side and fold it to the other long side, and do that twice, please. So you have this very long blanket at the moment. It's almost the length of my mat. And then you're going to use it, you're going to roll it like this. You have this like long, thick sort of rope, right? So I want you to watch then how I do this, because if this works for you, it helps me to know what we can do in our restorative classes as well. And let me put this closer to my head. So what I do then is I put the blanket across my ankles on the front, and I've got these two things to hold on to. So I lie back, and see how it's over the top of my ankles right there? You put the feet close. I'm going to pick up my hips and put the blanket right behind the trochanter bone, so that when I put the knees out in baddha konasana, they actually can't become lax all the way to the floor. But also, the blanket gives this little massage right there at the trochanter. The massage is by the pressure of being on the blanket. This part of the blanket here is not under my body. So the blanket, I kind of squished it under the greater trochanter. And the ankles do get sort of held in by that position. So the blanket goes around the outside of your ankles under the greater trochanter. The knees then can't go forever in baddha konasana. And then you can close your eyes. If you're comfortable doing it, you can place your hands on the low belly. Let the eyes get really quiet. So your attention is going to go inward now. And you can imagine one hemisphere of the body is like a river. The other hemisphere is like a river. We've moved these rivers left and right, a little bit of twisting, and now they're going to integrate as one central river, one clear-minded, clear-hearted, clear-bodied river. And what you can practice here in letting the body become still is notice the exhale pause. Do not try to make the exhale pause. Don't try to make it longer or let it linger. Just simply notice it. Noticing. The surrender of the exhale pause. It can be difficult for the mind to only observe the breath if you're accustomed to kind of thinking your way through things or telling the body what to do and so on. Really practice simply observing. And even if you have to remind yourself, even if it's frequently reminding yourself, come back to simply observing. Allow yourself again to simply observe. Let the mind become really still. You're only observing. Allow your mind and your senses to become a few degrees more still. Just observing the inner body. And allowing the body and the mind and the senses to be relatively still. Only make one small change here. You're going to press into the outer edges of your feet. Momentarily lift the hips and slide the blankets out. They are on the outside of your trochanters, and your sacrum comes to the floor. And then using the transverse abdominis, deep belly muscle that goes from one hip bone across to the other. Gently tone there and start to lift your knees up until you can stretch the legs straight out. And yes, the ankles will still likely be covered by the blanket. And then you may bend one knee at a time. Roll to your side, please. Come up to sitting. And use any support to take a seat on for meditation. Now, some of you are going to benefit from your blanket being a little bit thicker for meditation. In that case, you can add a blanket to your seat. Rest your hands in your lap. So part of this practice was really to release the congestion of the heart, to expand the elasticity of the kidney region, so that we have the energy of Kapha, earth and water energy, flowing through us again, more easily, more unctuously. So rest your attention inside. Listen for the natural quality of meditation that happens. Even if there are also other non-meditative things happening in your mind, let your attention rest on the place that could become naturally meditative. Just bring your hands together at your heart. You can practice singing in call and response with me. I'll sing both parts. Hatha yoga rusasanam. Hatha yoga rusasanam. Yoga chitta vritti nirodha. Yoga chitta vritti nirodha. Tada drastu svarupe vastanam. Tada drastu svarupe vastanam. Means, and now the yoga begins. Yoga is the experience of inner reflectivity when the activities of the mind are not disturbing us. When we experience that, we can rest in our essential nature. Thank you very much, everyone. Namaste. It's good to be with you. I'm going to come up to visit and see how you're doing.